What's been fascinating to us are the number of times we see inflammatory symptoms improve that were totally unexpected, like weight, migraines, and especially pain. This particular smoothie has been popularized by Brooke Goldner, who used it to treat her own incurable disease, which was lupus. Let's get started. My cheat sheet for this smoothie is right behind me. It consists of 4 main things. It makes a lot, so it makes enough for 2 meals. You use 1 pound of greens a day. 1 pound, 16 ounces. So I'm going to use 2 blenders. And I'm gonna drink half in the morning and half in the afternoon. And then I'm gonna probably have a regular dinner that's consisting of some very healthy foods, of course. But I'm gonna just stuff this down in here. Greens. Approximately half in each container. Oh, just a piece. My 4. Now, you're gonna have to push that down quite a bit in there, because you still need to fit the other half of the greens. That was 1/2 pound of kale. I used the market side from Walmart because it has green, red, and Tuscan kale, all of which are excellent, so don't worry about if you can't get that. Any kind of kale is going to be great. Kale is a superfood. Loaded with antioxidants, which is what we want. What we're really getting in here, though, is sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is a chemical that detoxifies things in the body, and we want massive detoxification on a daily basis. For use in our study of 1, we will be using it in 1 pound a day, if possible. Some people will have to start with less because they're not used to this, but the aim is for 1 pound a day. And it's for raw veggies, not cooked. When you cook your cruciferous vegetables, which contain sulforaphane, you deactivate it. It's an enzyme, it's very fragile, and it deactivates with heat. So you don't want to cook it because you're going to lose that value. So we're going to do 1 pound of greens. That was also from Walmart. It was the spring greens. It has a little purple in it, and every time you add something dark or purple to the green smoothie, it's going to make it a little more brown color. I'm going to use, in both sides here, I'm going to use about, this is a 1/4 cup, measuring cup of blueberries. Again, high antioxidant value of those dark purple berries. I'm going to use a total of 1/2 cup, but so I put 1/4 in each. And then I'm going to use 1/2 cup of cranberries. Cranberries, again, are highly antioxidant. I don't want the ones that are dried because they have added oils on them and sugar. I just want cranberries. Cranberries are loaded with antioxidants, and they're very, very good for fighting cancers. I really want about 1/2 cup. I'm going to put 1/2 in this one, 1/2 in this one. And I'm going for a smoothie that is a little bit more zingy or tart in flavor. That's the flavor that my husband and I really enjoy in our smoothies. But some people will want a very sweet smoothie, and I would recommend putting pineapple, mango, banana. That will make a sweeter smoothie than this is going to be. This is going to be more of a refreshing, lemony type flavor for this smoothie. It's delicious. And I'm going to add, speaking of sulforaphane, I'm going to add some broccoli sprouts. That's not on my list here, but these are part of the cruciferous family. I'm going to put about a 1/4 cup all together between these 2. Broccoli sprouts are 100 times more dense in sulforaphane value than you would get in broccoli. So 100 times more per weight. And we're gonna just add that little bit. That's my own little addition. I really think that's a good one. But if you can't find broccoli sprouts, don't worry about it. I'm going to add one more fruit. I used orange yesterday and all I did is peel it, chop it, and put it in there. But today I'm going to put a little bit of apple. I just think, first of all, it's going to be delicious apple. But my apple is so big. Really, this is probably 2 servings of an apple. I'm going to cut it in half and put maybe a quarter here and a quarter here. I'll do that in a second. But I want to go over this part. This is the part for the omega-3. Second one on the list here, half a cup. I need half a cup of each of these. This is chia seed and this is flax. And I'm going to put a half a cup all together. So quarter cup of each. I have told people before, I don't want you to use the whole flax because you can't digest it well because it has a very hard shell on it. So I'm actually going to put it in my grinder, grind it up, and then put it in the smoothie and drink it. Now, flax, unfortunately, when it's ground and it's exposed to air, it deteriorates very quickly and it loses much of the value that's in it. So that means it's best if you can grind this, unless you have a high-speed blender and maybe it gets ground and broken up that way. But my blenders, I don't think will grind this flax up adequately. So I'm going to grind it in my little coffee spice mill first and then put it in. And then I like to add a little bit of lemon. This is gonna just be a little bit for each. This is probably a quarter cup altogether. So a couple tablespoons of lemon in each. This was lemon. I just juiced a whole bag of lemons, froze them in the freezer in little ice cube trays, and then I can take it out really quick like that. But I really like fresh lemon because it doesn't have citric acid in. Citric acid tends to give people heartburn. I don't buy anything jarred with citric acid because of that. But so I'm gonna just grind this. Oh, maybe not. Nice and powdery. Great. Really good for your body to be able to absorb it. You'll get all the omega-3s out of that. So half in here, half in here. I think it's easier to make the whole batch at once. If I had a high-speed blender, I'd do it that way, but I don't. And so I have low-speed blenders, the old-fashioned type, and I'm just going to make good use of them. They're kind of twins, they're almost twins. I'm gonna make good use of them. Now you're going to put water in it to about 3/4. That was the next one here is your water, 3/4 of the container, or whatever your max setting is on your blender. I'm gonna go to about here with the water because I don't want it to overflow. Then I'm going to add I put some fruit, but I'm gonna add the apple. So let me just add the water next. It's part of the water that you're going to need with this type of anti-inflammatory smoothie or foundational smoothie, is that part of it being able to do its job is hydration. And that means between 96 and 128, which is a gallon, 128 ounces of water a day. Now, I had a container, I measured out a gallon for the day. So it's best to use some of it for your smoothies. I mean, you can use almond milk if you want, or soy milk or whatever you want, but I really think just water. Use your water in this. You need to drink it anyway. It won't hurt anything. So this is just short of the amount I need for a gallon a day. We're gonna start and we're just gonna put that up to about 3/4 of a container. Again, don't overflow your smoothie. It won't be fun. Or your blender anyway, don't overflow it. And I'll just add the apple here in just a second. I think the apple, because the apples are so delicious, it's gonna add a wonderful flavor to this, that tart sweet flavor. And I thought it was gonna be hard to put it in and peel it and everything. It wasn't bad at all. But I'll just make these a little smaller because I'm a little on the overflow side here of my blender. Every day you do this, experiment a little bit more. Maybe you want a different fruit, maybe you want it less sweet. As you eat greens like this, two things are gonna happen that we often see, and one is we often see that people will start to lose weight that they weren't expecting. Weight they've been fighting for years. That will be one of the first things. And the second thing we often see is, so the cravings kind of go down, the weight goes down. So it's both. And it'll be a little bit surprising. So when I say the cravings go down, I haven't been the only one noticing this. I had people say this out of the blue. They would say, you know, it seems like my tastes have changed. It's like I don't crave those sweets as much. And it's very interesting. I do think there's a scientific basis for that, but I don't want to go into all the details of it. But it is possible that you may see that effect. Very interesting. Here we go. Oops. This one needs a little help. I'm gonna have to push it down a little in there. So, this is my little. But you can see how it starts out so green. It does change color as if you have some of the reds and purples in it. But still, don't hesitate to do that. Don't worry about the color. I made one the other day. It was supposed to be a green smoothie and it turned out magenta. So this beautiful pink purple color. It was not green and it was delicious. Okay. So the idea is to experiment so it works for you. I really want you to have the basics in it, and if you want to put different flavors, like if you wanted, say you wanted it more spicy, a little bit more like some cayenne in it and some cumin or something like that, you could do that. You could do more tangy like what I'm doing, or you could do more sweet. But in any case, design your smoothie. This is a designer smoothie made by you. It's your personal design and you get to name it. So name your smoothie, come out with something that has these 4 ingredients to start with: your pound of greens, your omega-3s, chia and flax are 2 of the best, your water, and your flavor, which is your fruit, spices, lemons, whatever you want. All right, if this has been helpful to you, like it, share it, so somebody else can be helped by it. And then if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everybody.